It's been one full calendar year since I last did a discussion video about this certain topic that I'm about to talk about here. And in said discussion video, I stated that I would never talk about this certain topic ever again in full here on the channel. In a full-length video, that is. I may reference them every now and again, but never make a full-length video ever again discussing them on my channel. 365 plus days later, here I am again, making an exception, once again, for the Chicago Bears. Yippee. But this one's going to be a little different than the last discussion video I did about the Bears, because there is some positivity that can come out of this video. There is. It may not be the positivity that Bears fans want to hear. It may be positivity that's going to piss them off. It's going to be positivity that's going to probably get me a bunch of angry comments in the comment section below, and truthfully, I don't give a damn. Because the truth needs to be said, and the truth, like the quote goes, the truth shall set you free. The 2023 Chicago Bears are currently, at the time that I make this video, 0-3. They started off the season with a loss in Week 1 against the Green Bay Packers, 38-20. They lost in Week 2 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 27-17. And last Sunday, they got their asses kicked by the Super Bowl defending champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, 41-10. Now you may be thinking to yourself, oh, well, that's just 3 games. We're only 3 games in. It's not that. Now, I haven't watched a single game live from the Chicago Bears this season, and I don't plan to, unless a certain something happens. But I have been keeping tabs with the highlights that the NFL uploads every week of the Chicago Bears games. From what I've seen of the highlights, oh my God, what the hell are you Bears fans talking about? It's not that bad. Yes, the fuck it is. This team, honest to God, looks worse than even last year when they went 3-14. This team was so historically bad last year, they had the #1 draft pick, something that they have not done since World War II. World War II! The television barely existed the last time the Bears got the #1 draft pick. The Chicago Cubs had just made another World Series appearance the last time the Bears had the #1 draft pick in the NFL draft, until this year, of course, where they had it back in April, until they traded it to Carolina. Thinking about it now, they probably should have just held on to the #1 draft pick. Maybe they could have drafted a decent fucking player at #1. Anyways, they went 3-14 last year. They were historically bad. One of the worst records, if not the worst record in the history of the Chicago Bears franchise as a whole. Now you may think to yourself, well, it can't get any worse than 3-14, right? Oh, you are sadly mistaken, my friend. The way that this Bears team is playing this year, all the controversy on the field, all the controversy off the field, this has the potential to be a historically bad Chicago Bears season. And you know what? I say fuck the potential. Go all the way. What I'm about to say is going to piss off a lot of Chicago Bears fans if they run across this video. The Chicago Bears, the 2023 Chicago Bears, must, not could, not should, they must, M-U-S-T, must go 0-17. Think about it. The Chicago Bears talk about their history. They like to brag about the history of the Chicago Bears organization and how they pride themselves on historic moments and historic memories to last all time, not just for the Chicago Bears organization, but for the NFL, for football as a whole. Well, the Chicago Bears are about making historic moments, right? Here's a historic moment opportunity right here. Go 0-17. No team in the history of the NFL has ever gone 0-17. And before you give me the Detroit Lions and the Cleveland Browns who went 0-16, they went 0-16. They went 0-16. That was before the schedule change that added one more game to the season. As historically bad as their seasons were, and personally, if you were to ask me which team do I consider the worst, probably the Cleveland Browns out of those two. But anyways, as bad as those teams were, they wouldn't even come close to how historically bad this Chicago Bears team must be this season. The Bears must do something that has never been seen in the history of the NFL, and that's go a full 0-17. Have the worst losing record in the history of the NFL. I want it to be even fucking worse than the expansion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I want the Bears to be historically bad. And they can pull it off. They can pull this off. I know many people are projecting the Bears to have 3 to 5 wins this year. 3 to 5 wins ain't good enough for me. You want to make history? You want people to talk about you? You want people to, start talking about you, word of mouth, spreading you around? I mean, it's not going to be the word of mouth that you want. It's not going to be the mentioning that you want, because you're going to be ridiculed. You're going to be laughed at. You're going to be the embarrassment of the NFL. You're going to be the embarrassment of football. You're going to be a fucking clown show on the football field. But it'll get people talking. Go 0-17. You're already 0-3. You've already been embarrassed the first 3 games of the NFL season. You just got blown out by the Kansas City Chiefs, with Taylor Swift watching, by the way. Hell, the way you were playing, you could have had Taylor Swift come out there and replace Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, and fucking Taylor Swift goes out there and throws like 5 touchdowns against the Bears, and we lose by a score of like 100-10. We would have got blown out harder than the freaking Denver Broncos did. And speaking of the Denver Broncos, Week 4, this upcoming Sunday, we play the Denver Broncos at Soldier Field. Now, many Bears fans are probably saying, oh, this is an easy W. The Denver Broncos got blown out by 70 points. The first time a team scored 70 points in a game since 1966. We haven't even been to the moon the last time an NFL team scored 70 points in a game. That was a historic ass kicking that the Dolphins gave the Broncos on Sunday. And all these Bears fans, all the sports media, chalking this up as an easy W for the Chicago Bears. Do you really fucking believe the Denver Broncos are going to come to Soldier Field and want to be embarrassed again on CBS? You gotta be fucking full of yourselves. The Denver Broncos are gonna come into Soldier Field mad as hell. They're gonna be madder than a fucking hornet. They are gonna be a very pissed off Denver Broncos team. This team just gave up 70 points to the Dolphins. You don't think they're gonna come into Soldier Field pissed off? If you think, or not pissed off, excuse me, if you think they're gonna come into Soldier Field and not be pissed off and just get their asses kicked again, boy, oh boy, you need a wake-up call. And that wake-up call is the Denver Broncos winning in a close one. I'm not predicting a blowout here. I'm not predicting Denver to blow us out. It's going to be a low-scoring game because both offenses and defenses for both these teams are absolute fucking garbage. But the Denver Broncos will pick up their first win of the season. If I had to make a score prediction, probably 14-10. It's going to be a very low-scoring game. But the Broncos are going to get the win here. In retaliation, in revenge for what happened last week. The Bears will go 0-4. Few days later, you got an Amazon Prime game Thursday night. Week 5 against the Washington Commanders. Now you may be thinking to yourself, Bears fans, oh, that's an easy W. The Commanders, they're a joke, ha. This ain't the same Washington Commanders team that was led by Dan Snyder. This is a completely new, Josh Harris-owned Washington Commanders. And they're actually pretty consistent this year. I wouldn't say they're the best team in the NFL, but they're pretty darn good. They're probably the second best team in the NFC East, behind the Philadelphia Eagles, of course. They're a decent team this year. I got them winning week 5. So, 0-5 for the Chicago Bears. Then we get to week 6. The Minnesota Vikings. Oh boy. The Vikings are pretty fucking bad. As it currently sits, they are also 0-3. Kirk Cousins has looked really bad to start off this season. But there was that game where the Vikings came really close to pulling off a win, only to have it snatched away at the last second. This team has proved to me that they could potentially win. It's just a matter of time. If they don't get a win before week 6, this is the week where they get their first win of the season. I got the Vikings winning. I'm not going to give a final score or anything. I'm just going to say the Vikings are going to win this game. Vikings pick up their first win of the season, or maybe even their second win. Hell, it could be their third win. You never know. They could win 3 games in a row. But anyways, I got the Vikings winning here. Bears go 0-6. Next game, the Las Vegas Raiders. That's a loss, 0-7. Week 8. We're going all the way out to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. That's going to be another L. 0-8. Week 9. We're going to New Orleans to take on the New Orleans Saints. I'm pretty sure the New Orleans Saints are going to be good enough to beat us. It's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be a close game, but they'll barely squeak by with a win. 0-9. Now week 10. Thursday night football game yet again, and we're going up against the Carolina Panthers, who we traded the number 1 draft pick to, by the way. This is going to be rookie quarterback versus, I guess you could technically say, still a rookie quarterback the way that Justin Fields has been playing. He's been playing like absolute shit. Now, you may think, okay, this is where the Bears are finally going to pick up a win. They're going up against a rookie QB. The Panthers are really bad. Their offense is pretty bad. Their defense is pretty bad. We'll squeak by with a win here. I think this game goes to overtime, but the Panthers will pull it off in overtime. I got the Panthers winning that one. Bears go 0-10. Then, week 11. The Detroit Lions in Detroit. Lions are actually pretty darn good this year. Hell, they beat the Kansas City Chiefs in week 1. They beat the defending Super Bowl champions on their own turf in week 1. This Lions team, I don't know about you, but this Lions team, if they can get a few more weapons, they could be a potential, not just a postseason contender, they could be a fucking Super Bowl contender. If they can get just a few more weapons, look out. I got the Lions winning. Then, week 12, and by the way, that makes us 0-11. Week 12, we play Minnesota yet again. We're not going to split. Minnesota's going to kick our ass. Minnesota's going to pick up a win, 0-12. Then week 13, we get a bye week. Thank God. A week of no Bears football. Thank the heavens. Week 14, we take on the Lions yet again. Lions are going to kick our ass. 0-13. Week 15, we're facing the Cleveland Browns. Hey, the Cleveland Browns know something about having a winless season. But they're not going to take pity on us. You think Deshaun Watson is going to take pity on us? Deshaun Watson couldn't take pity on the woman that he supposedly sexually abused. What the hell makes you think he's going to take pity on the Chicago Bears? Cleveland Browns are going to win this game 0-14. Go the Bears. Week 16 against the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals just beat the Cowboys. So if they're good enough to beat the Cowboys, they're damn good enough to beat us. 0-15. Week 17 against the Atlanta Falcons. Might be a close one. Then again, Atlanta could blow us out. Who knows? We go to 0-16. And then finally, to cap off this historic season, we face the Green Bay Packers in Week 18 at their own stadium, Lambeau Field. Even if the Packers make the playoffs and play their backups, you know damn good and well the Packers are not going to take it easy on the Chicago Bears. No, we're going to get our asses kicked again, just like we did in Week 1. Week 1, we got our asses kicked in the opening game of the season. And in our final game of the season, the Bears are going to send everybody home happy by going 0-17 as the Packers kick their chief down their throat. And then the Chicago Bears will do something that no team in NFL history has ever done before. 0-17. Fuck the Detroit Lions of 2000, I believe it was 2008, 2009. Fuck the Cleveland Browns of 2017. Move over, bitches. There's a new sheriff in town. There's a new sheriff of suckery in town. And this one, oh God, it's going to be like that giant turd from freaking Jurassic Park. That is one big pile of shit. The Chicago Bears will be the first team in NFL history to go 0-17. The only win that the Bears got this entire year was Week 1 of the preseason against the Tennessee Titans, where you won 23-17. Congratulations, you got a preseason win in Week 1 with fucking backups playing. Congratulations, here's your participation award. Now proceed to get fucked in the regular season. We are on the cusp. We are on the verge of seeing a historically bad Chicago Bears season. I don't want to see this team win 3 to 5 games this year. I don't want to see them win 6 games, 7 games, 8 games, 9 games, 10 games, 11, 12, 13, or magically win the last 14 games of the season and go 14-3. I don't want to see that. I want to see this team fucking tank. I want to see the worst, not just the worst Chicago Bears football team of all time. I want to see the worst football team I have ever seen with my own 2 eyes. I want this to be historically bad. And if you want to say I'm a fake-ass Bears fan for saying that, fuck you. I don't fucking care. You want to talk about historic moments, right? You always want to say the Chicago Bears are about making history. They're about historic moments. They're about being a historic franchise, right? Here's your fucking opportunity at making history. Here's your opportunity at an historic moment. Here's your opportunity at making history for the franchise. Something that you haven't done, by the way, in quite some time. You thought Cody Parkey double doink was bad? You ain't seen bad yet. You ain't seen bad yet, boys and girls. Until you see this team go 0-17, you ain't seen bad yet. The Chicago Bears must go 0-17. Not would. Not should. Not could. They must go 0-17. This team, as of right now, is absolute shit. Both offense and defense, and even off the field. You got a QB who clearly doesn't want to be here anymore. An offense that can't protect him, that can't give him enough time to find a wide receiver wide open. You got DJ Moore in a trade. The poor guy does not want to be here. He's probably gonna... I would not be surprised if he doesn't ask for a fucking trade before the season's over and get the fuck out of Chicago. I would not be surprised. If I were him, I'd do it. I'd be demanding a fucking trade at this point. I wouldn't want to play for this sorry-ass team. This Bears team is where careers go to die. And it's also where coaching goes to die, too. You got an offensive coordinator in Gutless Getsy as OTRS Central, as Jeff would say. You know, I'm not going to do the freaking cowardly lion act, but this dude... oh my god. This dude could go down as the worst offensive coordinator in the history of the Bears. The amount of screens that this man calls, the amount of screen passes that this man calls, the amount of screen plays that he calls. I want to put a screen on my television to prevent me from watching any more Chicago Bears games. The amount of screens that this man calls in an NFL game for the Chicago Bears, this dude might as well just marry the freaking playbook and have the playbook be nothing but screenplays. This dude might as well just go to a freaking chapel, announce that he wants to get married, marry the playbook, and the playbook is just filled with nothing but screenplay. And then you'll have that one play that differentiates from screenplay. Halfback dive. Screenplay. Halfback dive. Oh my god. You got a defense that is just... I don't even know what to say about them. God awful. That's the only word I could think of. So god awful. So bad that the defensive coordinator resigned from his job in week 3. It's week 3 of the NFL season, and we've already lost our defensive coordinator. Now, the reason why we did lose him has nothing to do with what's going on the field. It has something to do with something that he may or may not have done that involves a certain type of pornography that is very highly illegal, that involves people that are obviously not of age, and that is very fucking disgusting. And I have no respect for anybody who's into that type of shit. And I'm glad that he's off the fucking team. And I really, really hope for his sake that this shit is not true. Because if it turns out that this is true and he actually has that stuff on him, buddy, you're gonna be going away for a very, very long time. You got people that broke into Soldier Field and stole $100,000 worth of equipment. Just all the shit that's going on with this team right now is so historically fucking bad. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to be a Chicago Bears fan. It really is. A QB who doesn't want to be there, an offense and a defense that absolutely suck, an offensive coordinator that all he knows how to do is call screenplays and the occasional halfback dive every now and again, a defensive coordinator who resigned, who may or may not have been involved with a certain type of pornography that's extremely illegal, a head coach who, honestly, at this point, I would rather have Matt Nagy back. I can't believe I'm saying that. I would rather have Matt Nagy back. Because at least with Matt Nagy, at least we had one winning season. One winning season where we went 12-4. But hey, you know, before Cody Parkey fucked everything up, I would consider that to be a good season. And since then, what have we done? Nothing but suck on the field and off. But it doesn't just have to do with the team, the offense and the defense, the coaching. It has to do with the front office too. To everybody thinking that Ryan Poles is the Lord and Savior of the Chicago Bears, that he's going to come in and save the Titanic from sinking, that he's going to change this organization around and make it a winning franchise again. I don't know what the hell you Bears fans have been smoking, but please lay off of it, because it ain't doing you no damn good. This man isn't making things better. As a matter of fact, he's making things worse. This Bears team is worse with him around. I didn't think that was even humanly possible, but he somehow made it humanly possible. This team right now is worse with him as the general manager. And then, when you get past Ryan Poles, then you get all the way up to the main motherfuckers in charge. And that's Virginia and George McCaskey. Where do I even start with them? You got a fucking crypt keeper in Virginia who's 100 years old, who her father, George Halas, God rest his soul, basically gave the team to her back in what? 84, if I remember correctly? It was right before he passed away. He wasn't even alive to see the Chicago Bears win the Super Bowl in 85. God rest his soul. And since Virginia took over the team, outside of a few playoff appearances, outside of a few division titles, outside of one more NFC championship and one more Super Bowl berth, what has she really done for the Chicago Bears organization? Has she brought us any more Super Bowl titles? No. Has she made the Chicago Bears a consistent winning team as of late? No, outside of one season. And outside of when we went to the NFC Championship game 13 years ago. Outside of when we went to the Super Bowl 16 years ago. I was in middle school the last time the Chicago Bears went to the Super Bowl. I do not want to be in my early 50s when the Chicago Bears go to another Super Bowl. That's if they ever do go to another Super Bowl. And even if they do make it to another Super Bowl by then, Virginia's not going to live that long unless she gets put on some sort of like fucking vitamin that keeps her alive, unless she gets put on some sort of fucking medicine or gets put in a freaking unless she gets fucking frozen like Walt Disney, unless they have her brain removed from her body and run off of artificial intelligence, she ain't gonna live forever. And then you got George McCaskey. Oh my god. I can't stand this son of a bitch. I can't fucking stand him. He's just as bad as Virginia, if not worse. This is the same George McCaskey that really thought Andy Dalton was the solution to the Chicago Bears QB problems before they brought in Justin Fields. Andy Dalton. The same George McCaskey who thinks that having a new stadium built for the Chicago Bears will solve everything. Newsflash, no the fuck it won't. Because even if you build a new stadium for the Chicago Bears in Arlington Heights, if you give Bears fans shitty teams year in and year out, eventually you're going to piss off the Bears fan base to the point where they're not going to spend money on merchandise, they're not going to spend money on tickets, they're not going to come to the games, meaning less revenue for you, less revenue from the team, less revenue for the team, meaning you're not going to be able to pay your players as much as you want, and you moving into this new stadium will be a gigantic waste of money. And it's only going to result in one of three things. One, you actually turn the fucking ship around and actually make this team profitable again by making them a winning franchise again. Number two, you can stay having a shit-ass organization and a shit-ass football team and just watch the attendance tank and tank and tank and tank and tank some more to where you reach levels that haven't been seen since the COVID era, where nobody shows up in a brand new state-of-the-art stadium, by the way. Or number three, you could be a little fucking pansy and do what the Oakland Athletics are doing, and that's move out of Chicago and find another city to play in. Where? I don't fucking know. At this point, go play out in the fucking boondocks for all I care. Go play out in a fucking swamp. Go play out in the middle of a fucking cornfield. I don't care. Somewhere far away where I don't even have to fucking see highlights of your team ever again on my YouTube feed. I should have grew up being a fucking Titans fan. Real talk. I should have grew up being a Tennessee Titans fan. If the Bears even win a single game this season, that may be the straw that breaks the camel's back for me. I might be officially done as a Bears fan. If they win just a single game this season, I think I'm done. Because by winning a game, by winning several games this year, you're not going to solve anything. You're not helping anything. You're just making it worse. You're not going to get rid of the problems if you keep winning games. The problems are still going to stay around. Eberflus, freaking Ryan Poles, the entire coaching staff, the front office are going to remain the same. If you want change in Chicago, if you want the Bears organization to change, then you have to go all the way and tank. You got to absolutely fucking tank this year and be historically bad. I reiterate one last time, the Chicago Bears must go 0-17. Don't get a single win this year. I don't want to see one win. I don't want to see 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't even want to see you magically somehow win 14 games in a row. Make the playoffs. Why? So you get knocked out in the divisional round? No thanks. No thank you. I'm good. Yeah, it would be a winning season according to the record, but an actual real winning season won't be complete until you go all the way and win the Super Bowl, which I know damn good and well you're not going to be able to pull that off unless a fucking miracle happens. Chicago, Bears organization, Bears fans, you know I'm telling the truth. You have a chance to be historically bad. Fucking do it! Go 0-17 this year. Make the tank come true. I know I'm sounding like Shia LaBeouf with that freaking just do it meme. Whatever. Go 0-17. You must go 0-17. There is no other way around it. You want to invoke change? You want the front office to change? You want the McCaskies to hopefully, finally wake up and realize, hey, we can't build a new stadium and expect people to come if we keep giving them a shit product on the field. Let's give them an actual winning product. Let's give them a team that's capable of winning a fucking Super Bowl for once! 0-17. No other choice. Unless you somehow magically win the Super Bowl this year. Which I know damn good and well that ain't gonna happen. Edgerunner Gaming HD signing out. And to any Bears fans that I pissed off by making this video, well, don't say I didn't warn you. Go ahead and leave your angry comments. I don't fucking care. This is why I don't really talk Chicago Bears stuff here on my channel, because honestly I could really care less about the Chicago Bears. And I'll only tune in, by the way, before I go, I'll only tune in to a Chicago Bears game and watch it start to finish if, and only if, the final game of the season comes around, they're sitting at 0-16 against the Green Bay Packers on the verge of going 0-17. I will watch that game start to finish. If I have to go on a fucking website, and I'm not going to say what type of site, but I'm pretty sure you get the hint. If I have to go on a site and watch this game start to finish, I will do it. Just so I can see this team do something that's never been done before. 0-17. 0-17 Chicago. 0-17. 0 wins, 17 losses. I know you don't want it, but you must. You must do it. It's the only way you're going to invoke change. Edgerunner Gaming HD signing out. Peace. And Chicago Bears, go fuck yourself.
They will find me through the flames, flames that run down through my veins. I will make the city burn. We're not planning to return. Trying so hard to be free, to make you see what I see. Hold on to your wishes if you can't hold on to me. Forgive me for letting